This is the Ridge MagSafe battery pack, and knowing I review quite a few MagSafe batteries on the channel, I knew I had to put it to the test. Unfortunately, I did discover one problem. More on that in a sec. I also decided to get this, the Ridge MagSafe Wallet, which comes in at $150. And I got the AirTag strap, so $170. But I tested the Ridge MagSafe battery multiple times, and I put it head-to-head against QUILSIL's solid-state battery, and put it against my previous favorite, which I've recommended for months. And after multiple battery tests, there is one clear winner. Let's start out with the positives. The Ridge MagSafe power bank is $70, and it can be a multi-device charger. You don't get an additional cable in the box, but that's because you don't really need it. The Ridge battery actually has a built-in USB-C cable and a built-in lightning cable. Kind of wish you could choose one or the other since I don't need the lightning anymore, but it's nice that they're just built in, and if you use the cable, that will charge your iPhone at 20 watt speed, so pretty fast. The Ridge battery also has a built-in kickstand, so you can watch your phone in horizontal or portrait mode. And while I've seen other battery packs do this, there's a little divot here, so you can actually charge an Apple Watch with the Ridge battery. So it can do all the things, watch, iPhone, and AirPods either wirelessly or with a cable. There is also a little screen here at the bottom of the battery which tells you the current percentage, if power is going in and out, and there's a button here which you do have to click to start charging after you attach it to your phone. Now on the Ridge website, if you go up to features, it does claim fast MagSafe wireless charging up to 15 watts. It also has a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity and fast charging with the cable. The cable charging is not a problem, but this fast charging up to 15 watts, not so much. I'll go in depth on the charging I did with the Ridge battery, but if you just attach it to your phone, go to settings and then battery, even the iPhone will tell you this is a slow charger. And from my experience testing it multiple times, it is in fact one of the slower MagSafe batteries. Now the Anker MagSafe battery is also 10,000 milliamp hours, it's QI2, and again, according to the tests, this clearly charges much faster than the Ridge, closer to that 15 watts. Now, whenever a battery claims 15 watt charging, that should require QI2, and you can see on the Wireless Power Consortium, the Anker battery pack, the 10K, that is Qi version 2, and even the QUILSIL solid state power bank is QI2 as well. I searched for the Ridge battery to see if it had any certification, and I couldn't find it. And just a couple stats on the QUILSIL solid state battery, it is 5,000 milliamp hours, so half the capacity, S2 version, but as you can see, all the little symbols on here, QI2, it does offer power delivery, so if you want to plug in a USB-C cable, you can charge your iPhone at 20 watt speeds. And if you look closely, you can see it also claims at 15 watts wirelessly. So let's talk about the charging tests. For the Ridge battery, I let my iPhone drain to 2% battery and then attached it. Now I only used it very lightly, maybe answering a couple texts, and you'll see the graph here for the charging. I got that slow charger warning the first time I attached it, and completely emptying the battery into the phone, it reached about 74%. And if you look really closely at that graph, you'll see it took almost 5 hours to do it, again showing that it is a slow charger. Now when it comes to MagSafe batteries, you also have to contend with heat, and the Ridge battery, it did not feel very hot here on the back, so if you were holding it, but around the edges you can tell it is getting warm, warmer than the Anker battery, but not as warm as the QUILSIL. Also, a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity should fully charge an iPhone 16 Pro Max, like another battery did. I did all these tests with my Sooty iPhone back as well, and this is MagSafe, and I tested all three batteries the same way. Now, when it comes to the QUILSIL battery, it actually charged faster than the Ridge battery, but it had some problems with heat. Even keeping it in a very cool environment like here in the studio, which is 71 degrees, I measured in the midst of charging, it was reaching 114 degrees on the back of the battery. And that was testing it multiple times, and you could tell, just touching it, it feels very hot. So hot, in fact, that both times while I was testing it, charging had to stop because the iPhone temperature raised above a certain level. So you can see in the graph, there's a little plateau and then the battery actually drops. That's because it had to stop charging. And you'll see here in the second test, same thing. Once it got to a certain percentage, charging stopped due to heat. Now in that first test, it did bring the iPhone from 2% to 48% battery in less than 3 hours. So it did charge faster than the Ridge battery, but it got too hot and died too soon to fill it up anymore. And while I've talked to someone else who used the S2 QUILSIL battery, they had a better experience, they didn't feel it get as hot, and it fully charged their 16 Pro. But even testing with my 16 Pro Max at a cool state, I waited in between battery tests. I even put my phone in the fridge if that was a good idea or not, I don't know. But I also tested it a second time apart from any battery test that day, and the QUILSIL still got super hot and still stopped charging. So what is a legitimate QI2 battery that provides 15 watts of charging supposed to look like? Well, I have recommended this Anker 10K Ultraslim battery for a while now. I've tested it before, but I went ahead and tested it again multiple times, and you could see from this charging graph, this is what a legit 15-watt charge is supposed to look like. That steep climb up, pretty consistent, never got too hot where I had to stop charging, and it wasn't hot to the touch, and it fully charged my iPhone 16 Pro Max from 1 or 2% all the way to 100%. And it did it in less than 3 hours. And you'll see even after a test of fully charging my iPhone, the battery still has 2 dots left of charge. So this will probably give me another 50% if I really needed it. So between these three, it's no contest. The Ridge, while it has cool features like the built-in cables, you can charge your Apple Watch, it charges too slow, and for the same price, namely $70 for this MagSafe battery, actually cheaper, you can get the Anker for $65 on sale right now, comes in multiple colors, and it just doubly confirmed for me that if you want a great MagSafe battery that's not too thick, charges fast, and doesn't get hot, the Anker Ultraslim 10K is the way to go. Yes, it is a little thicker than other MagSafe batteries. Here's Apple's old MagSafe battery, which I wish they would remake this with USB-C. So as you can see, it is thicker than that. And if all you want is just a super thin battery, they have those out there as well. This is another one from Anker that's super thin, or even the Native Union, which has a cool design, thinner than this Anker Ultraslim. But all of these small batteries get hot, don't have much capacity, and are definitely not going to charge your iPhone fully from 1 or 2%. I would get the Anker Ultraslim or even the Belkin 10K, which I reviewed previously on this channel. I'll link that video above, are better options for heat, ability to charge, and you can still get a kickstand with that Belkin if you want. But what about the MagSafe Wallet from Ridge? So I got the Alpine Navy version, looks really cool, it's high quality. If you don't want the MagSafe stuff, you can save a little bit. That's $95, but $55 more for the magnets. And like I said, I also got the AirTag cast strap because the MagSafe wallet I've been using up until this point has all of that, which I'll show you in a second. Inside the box, you get the Ridge wallet and also a screwdriver, so you can take it apart, replace the elastic straps if you need, and you do have to take off the cash clip if you want to put the AirTag attachment. I like having an AirTag on my wallet, you get that precision finding. And according to the Ridge website, you can fit up to 12 cards. It also blocks RFID. And it also comes with this strengthening tray if you want to put it on your phone directly or a phone case, which helps hold the Ridge wallet on there more securely. Now, if you don't want to use the strengthening tray, the MagSafe version will just stick on the back of your phone. It's pretty secure. I can shake my phone and it doesn't come off, although I wouldn't hold it by the wallet because that comes off pretty easily. Aside from that, to put cards in and out, you have this little push tab here. I can push to get my cards out. And like I said, they can fit up to 12 cards, which is just elastic straps here on both ends. So you can stretch it and fit a lot in there. I just need 3 for my driver's license and a couple cards. And you can put the AirTag in here. You do have to unscrew the back of this AirTag holder if you need to change your AirTag battery, which is kind of eh. So as a MagSafe wallet, I think it's fine, but I actually prefer my old one. I got this a while ago. It is a MagSafe wallet from Amazon, faux leather. It was like 20 bucks, but it has a place for an AirTag here, and you can fit 3 or 4 cards in the elastic strap. It's really thin, discreet, and the MagSafe magnets are plenty strong, and it's pretty low profile. Unfortunately, I cannot find this one on Amazon anymore. It was the KUXIU AirTag MagSafe wallet, but it's just not there. There's lots of other kinds of MagSafe wallets with a place for an AirTag. To be honest, I'm not crazy about how any of these look or function. I've not found any equivalent for the one that I have. This one from Pure Gear comes close, and I'll link to that in the video description. And you can also get ones that you can use as a stand. And I do also have the ESR wallet, which has built-in Find My. The only thing with that is it's a proprietary charger, so you have to use the cable that comes with the wallet. And Find My built into wallets like this doesn't have the precision tracking, which means when you go into the Find My app and tap an item, when you tap Find Nearby, with an AirTag, and AirPods Pro case does this as well, it tells you exactly how far an item is, and sometimes it'll show you that arrow on screen pointing in the direction. That's why personally, I prefer just straight up putting an AirTag on my wallet. So while the Ridge wallet is really high quality, you can get it in lots of different colors. I imagine will last you a very long time. $150 to $175 for a wallet, and another $20 for the AirTag cast strap. I'm probably gonna go back to my faux leather AirTag MagSafe wallet. It's lighter, it's lower profile, and it's been working great. So yeah, if you're in the market for a MagSafe battery, the Ridge one is an option. I would go with the Anker QI2, charges quickly, doesn't get hot, reliable, all that. I'll put links to a few others of my favorites in the description below. Those are all affiliate links, absolutely. And I have lots of videos in the past going over multiple MagSafe batteries. I'll link one of those right up here. If you're new here, welcome. subscribe to the channel, do lots of MagSafe battery reviews, tech, accessories, and also do lots of videos on shortcuts, iPhone tips, and automations. I'll put one of my recent shortcut videos right up here, and yeah, like I said, subscribe, hit the like button. If you have any questions or if you had a different experience with the Ridge MagSafe battery, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.